problem with that.
SAO? Okay,
Yeah, why not?
that's fine.
Okay.
We'll call him SAO.
Okay. So, spawning up here on the top right-hand side of the map, which is Frost LE, we do have our teal Protoss player, SAOnline.
And spawning on the bottom left of Frost, we have his opponent, the green Zerg player, BBQ Man Bathcore.
So, you're going to have to give me kind of a recap of what happened yesterday, since I wasn't able to be here.
So, yesterday we saw a few lower caliber matches. We had Fade versus, I can't remember now. Fade versus Gerthang, I think. And we saw Himalayan versus somebody else. A lot of the first comers, or first timers, I should say, for DKTL, people that we have not seen play just yet. A lot of 3-0s, unfortunately. We had one series that went the entire best of 5. And
well, I mean, at least we had that, so that's a plus.
Yeah, Himalayan showing that he really, really liked his drone rushing.
That's what I heard you say earlier.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate, but still entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah, so I mean, looking at both of these players right now, we have pretty standard builds coming out of each, and it looks like we're going to get a hatchery first coming out of Bathcore up here. And looking at SAO, still nothing yet. I'm thinking this might actually be an 18 pylon, 1 gate. Oh, actually just the 18 food.
Just the Nexus first. That's pretty crazy. We'll see how he actually decides if how he's actually going to hold off any sort of early pressure that might come early. I mean, Bathcore is going to see this here. He's got the drone scout.
Yeah, and the first gateway is just coming down. Bathcore, however, is going to get the full scout of everything that's going on. He is going to see the gateway and the assimilator. Getting everything going down. Now, at this point, actually does... Let's see. No, actually... SAO doesn't know where his opponent is.
No, he just scouted in the bottom right. Hasn't quite gotten over there yet. And he looks like he's going... Okay, I was going to say, he might be going in the right direction now.
For a second there, I actually thought maybe it's just a potential proxy, but we do have the double gas coming out of Bathcore. The pool is down. Still no link speed, but the hatchery down at the natural is just finishing up.
This drone from Bathcore is going to... Keep looping around here, going to steal some minerals from this patch.
Now, interesting timing here. I don't know if you caught it, but actually the hatchery and the Nexus were about equal in timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's after a gateway, and we do have a Cybercore about 3/4 of the way done for SAO.
You see Bathcore with 2 out of 3 on both of the gas at his main base right now. Queen just pops, gets the inject going. We also have a Forge on the way.
Yeah, so what do you think we're going to see actually out of Bathcore? I think, at least in this state of the game, Zerg is kind of the most fun to try and pick and choose and see what you're going to find in terms of builds.
You know, it doesn't look like he's going too incredibly gas heavy right now. He's, got 2 out of 3 on 2 of these geysers. No gas on the second, which is, pretty normal. Just starting link speed there. You aren't seeing any Roach Warren yet, no Baneling Nest. I think he's just going to continue to drone up here. We'll see if he actually tries to make use of the potential advantage of this really early expansion that we saw from SAO. That looks like, he just got his Forge down. He's got a Zealot there blocking the hole. Perhaps going to drop a cannon or 2, and he should be pretty safe from anything. There goes the Baneling Nest from Bathcore. So perhaps we'll see some sort of bust.
Yeah, and I think that's, at least from what I've seen in the last few major tournaments, that's been a pretty standard build to see that Baneling bust come in. Now, we do have a Mothership Core out for SAO, as well as, like you said, a Photon Cannon coming down. Between those 2 units and or buildings...
16 Lings in production if you just got that. He's definitely going to be aggressive here.
Yeah, and we do have a Stargate coming down for SAO.
That's crazy. He just hid the amount of Lings that he had. You see that? All
I
these,
didn't.
all of these lings here at the second base behind the mineral patch. He tried to dodge that probe so he wouldn't quite catch how many he had. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was actually a really good play. I didn't catch it, but very, very well played on that one.
The second photon cannon is also going down for SAO. We're going to see the initial scoutling here. Speed is done, by the way. So this mothership core is going to see some stuff.
Right now, just one ling, though.
We'll see.
That one ling is going to come up and see that there's not really that much there. And oh my god, banelings.
Yeah, this is a lot of
banelings.
banelings. We're going to see a big bust here. And we have a void ray coming out. You know what? I don't think SAO can hold this right now. He has 2 sentries. That's not enough to continuously force field this off. Here come the banelings.
1 dies, 2 die. Oh, and that pylon being the weak point. The banelings just
Oh,
flooding
good
through
force
it.
fields, though.
Yeah.
But the sentries are down. There won't be another one. But also, we see the photon overcharge here.
Yeah, and actually, oh my god.
Those
look at
pylons. Wow.
Oh, but that was
Yeah.
not good at
Arty pylon, unfortunately.
all. Yeah. And
There.
those lings are going to get cleaned up by that mothership cannon and everything else, and we see the buildings getting repowered. I mean, like, that is not a good position for SAO to be in.
Not at all.
He's definitely behind, especially with a second flood of lings coming out.
And the Stargate didn't quite get that void ray out. We saw 16 lings pop out, core, and they're flooding across the map right now. We'll see if he decides to make any more banelings. He'll probably have to here, though he doesn't have a zealot just yet to block that hole. And there's a couple zealots, or a couple sentries and a zealot. He's going to be able to block that hole again. But if there's another baneling bust, I don't think he can hold this.
Yeah, definitely not. That was a big hit to his economy, and everything, basically everything behind that wall got shattered and blocked. And we do see more lings.
No banelings. Good trap there on those few initial lings there, but Bathcore realizes he's got to try something different. I think he should have gone with more banelings there, and he would have been able to hopefully get through there. But I mean, SAO, as we've seen, now that he has 4 sentries, he's definitely on par with these force fields. Twilight Council and Robo Facility going down for SAO.
As well as a third base.
Yeah, and he still has those 4 sentries, so that's going to help him out here.
Yeah, and see, now I like this play, and we've seen it a lot in, especially the WCS, with a lot of those players. What they'll do is they'll drop down a bunch of those sentries early on to do exactly what we're seeing here, and that's to keep the player alive until you can get to that point where the void rays tend to start carrying you.
Yeah. We'll see if SAO can actually hold on to this third base. I expect that he might be able to. He's got enough force fields here. He's got the void rays, mothership core as well. Once this nexus is done, he'll be able to use photon overcharge and protect it. Another void ray out. You know, I'm really wondering what his intentions are with the void rays, because there's nothing they can actually. I mean, of course, roaches. They'll deal with roaches really easily, but we aren't seeing many roaches right now. We see the Hydra Den, and that's going to be pretty effective against void rays.
Yeah, but I mean, I almost feel like void rays are kind of that missing linchpin in the standard Protoss death ball, especially anymore with the micro capability of the E button. Obviously, it's kind of like stim pack for void rays. But I actually do think it adds a nice flavor to the death ball, and when you get up to that status, it makes it really, really hard to deal with.
Interestingly, we also see SAO going with Blink.
And I'll just take note here for a second. We do have 1 Colossus on the way, but he has basically stopped void ray production. So he stopped at 3. We see gateways continuing to get tacked down. Another Robo Bay getting tacked down. So we'll be up to 2 here very, very shortly. I mean, like I said, I think the void rays are just there to be pesky early on if you need them to be, but they just add that little extra pinch of flavor to the death ball all around.
Yeah, definitely. Extended thermal lance, of course, going in production for SAO.
And these poor lings are going to get taken out here by the Zealots, and the Zealots are going to come over here and take the Zelnaga.
Income actually very even right now. Surprisingly enough, SAO was able to completely recover from that initial baneling hit. You know, at the same time, that was a lot of gas down the drain for Bathcore. It was a big investment, and I think the damage that he did, the trade-off was fairly even because he couldn't actually follow up. And so Bathcore sitting on 3 bases right now, trying to tech up a little bit, and going with some upgrades. Got Missile Tech's level 1, and a Carapace level 1 just about finished. Now the Roach upgrades as well as the Hydra Speed.
Yeah, and we do see the hallucinated Phoenix from SAO going to come and see everything that's going on. He does know this army is sitting here. And we do see a macro hatch just about to finish up for Bathcore down here on the low ground.
So yeah, we do see those Roaches as well added into the composition, so the Void Rays are going to find a place there. Definitely going to be able to tear through those. Colossus also very good against Hydralisk. So I'd like to see something else added into the mix here. Roach Hydra is very powerful, but when you let your opponent sit back and macro up, you're going to have some problems.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now, we do have 3 Colossi in this mix and a Warp Prism being added in. I do like that a lot, and that's something that we're starting to see players become more and more comfortable with, is using that Warp Prism for that harass and being able to attack from multiple angles, or even just distract your opponent a little bit so that that entire focus isn't on your army.
Bathcore's 4th base here, just about done. 2 extractors being created there as well.
And the 4th base for SAO just going down. It's about a quarter of the way done, and 2 assimilators up here as well.
SAO on top of his scouting there, so many hallucinated phoenixes. He's definitely keeping an eye on his opponent. He knows everything that's going on right now. You see the big Roach Hydra composition. He's already seen it once. He's slowly working on his Death Ball. And really, I think he's going to be able to directly counter what Bathcore throws at him. The Colossus definitely, like I said earlier, definitely going to be effective against those Hydras. Stalkers, Link Stalkers, plus Void Rays. Going to be very good against those Roaches. But, at the same time, Hydra's doing an insane amount of DPS. If he can get great positioning, he might be able to take away an engagement.
Yeah, definitely, and we do see this army just continuing to build, and that is actually a lot of Hydralisks and not that many Roaches. I'm counting, 16, 18 Roaches and
38
Hydras.
So,
yeah, that's a lot of Hydras. But then again, we do have 2 more Stargates coming in. So both of these players actually just content to sit back and let the other one macro. But at this point, Bathcore is going to have to move out first because Zerg maxed out, obviously. He's going to see this. He might get crushed, but he needs that supply to try and make that shift one way or the other.
A little bit of Zealot harass there. But yeah, the Hydra to Roach ratio is too damn high.
That's right, it is. And we do have the Observer. The Observer does see everything that is going on right now.
Especially the Zealot train over here in the bottom right. The
Choo
conga
choo,
line.
motherfuckers.
The conga line of Zealots.
Choo choo.
Just checking for some bases.
One thing I am slightly disappointed with, though, is SAO's upgrades at this point. He's getting level 1 ground armor. Ideally, you'd want these both to time up kind of the same, so that you had 2-2 ending at some point together, 3-3.
This could be nasty, though.
Yeah, it is, definitely. 3-0 Zealots are still going to do a number on just about anything they get their hands on. We do see him actually kind of dancing a little bit. It looks like they kind of got fucked over there by the AI. Just a little bit.
No, he's left at 67 drones there. We've only seen 3 workers killed for SAOnline. So I don't really think that push was worth it. Could have been a little nastier, but Bathcore did react appropriately, really quickly. And I like the Vipers as well. The Vipers are definitely going to come in handy against the Colossi and Void Rays. Especially, not only Blinding Cloud, but Abduct. It's going to be able to snipe those big high-tier units. And it's going to be really fun to see if he's got the micro to handle it.
Yeah, definitely. They are a very nice mix into really any force. And, they pay for themselves almost instantly if used well. Sniping Colossi, resetting your opponent's Colossi count, that's all stuff that's a major game-changing moment for really...
We see a Dark Shrine.
Yeah! Definitely.
Just as a contingency plan, just in case this doesn't really work out for him. But he's got a lot of Archons here. He has Storm on his High Templar, so this is going to be a pretty interesting fight. Keeping 4 Templar for Storm, making another Archon there. This is your classic Protoss Death Ball.
Yeah, definitely. And
Ooh.
it's
Let's watch for some storms here. He's leading with the High Templar. Ooh, backs off a little bit. 4
well,
DTs. I don't know where they are.
I don't necessarily disagree with the decision to lead with the High Templar, though, because those feedbacks on those Vipers are going to be insanely effective.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you consider if you feedback, like, I mean, how much damage does feedback do? It's equal to the energy. Yeah, so if you feedback for 200, you're killing those instantly.
Looks like he just got one. Feedback. Oh, the storms.
Nice the storms.
Very good storms.
Very good engagement here for SAOnline. We do see the army of Bathcore getting completely obliterated. Some blink micro. One Void Ray is going to fall. Photon, or the overcharge, going to come out. And prismatic alignment.
You can see his reaction. He is just shitting his pants. 53 roaches in production right now.
Holy roaches, Batman.
He definitely has a supply advantage, but you know that his initial army was completely destroyed.
Yeah,
definitely.
Now, this is actually a scary number of roaches to deal with. The only thing that's actually playing into the advantage of SAOnline is that it's coming in pieces.
Yeah. And he has good force fields there, keeping some of the reinforcement roaches back, but a lot of the Stalkers are falling. Is he going to snipe some of these?
Reinforcement over here on the side. Now these Colossi are getting surrounded, but the Stalker's going to buffer a little bit.
Ooh.
And it looks like this is actually going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, the roaches are starting to fall here. He actually survives with a few Stalkers.
And there were some drones getting some hits in as well. Oh, and it looks like he's going to lose the Stalker. Or the Colossi, excuse me.
So, yeah, if we check units lost, I mean, definitely in favor of SAO right now. That was a lot of stuff that Bathcore just lost.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if you noticed, but we do have the fleet beacon down, so there is the possibility of carriers. We do have a big Maynard coming up here to... Which base? There's no base there. Where are you going?
I'm not sure where they're going. It looks like... Oh, they are... Yeah, they're going to this Nexus here. It's a little bit oversaturated, but I guess that's okay. When you're all mined out back at home.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is where you start running into the question of where do I expand? Obviously, against a Zerg player with the creep spread, it makes it just a little more awkward to expand, especially if they're going towards you. Now, we do see SAO going to try and take this expansion on the lower half of the map, so his ideal positioning right now is literally to cut the map in half along that ravine that runs through the middle.
Yeah, exactly. And, continuing with the Void Ray production, 3 Void Rays just about to pop, as well as Protoss Shields level 1 and Air Weapons level 2. Continuing to produce Colossus as well. He's just going for all the Tier 3 units, going down all the tech paths, and really, you know, it proved to be pretty good in that first engagement, but Bathcore has remaxed just about, and it looks like he's on the move.
Uh-oh, and yeah, we do see that big army. Now this is a little better composition here.
It's a lot of roaches. First, he had a ton of Hydras, way too many Hydras.
He does know it's...
Oh.
He does know it's here. He does know. He knows it's coming. Oh,
we'll see if we can get some more perfect storms here.
Oh, and actually, look at this sneaking expansion up here to the top, but we do see this engagement coming in. Looks like this Nexus is going to fall, and the army is going to try and get trapped. Oh, and
great storms there. More great storms. Oh my god, that is awful.
That is terrible.
Losing so much stuff. This is absolutely not what Bathcore wants, but he's got 19 more roaches and 3-3 on the way. Wow, you know, it almost seems like that was not worth it.
And, you know, I don't think it was. Now, we do see a couple of DTs coming in over here on the side. I don't think that was worth it, because, I mean, he basically got trapped up in that corner and just kind of shit the bed and, like, let everything die. There wasn't really a whole lot that he could have done in that situation.
Yeah, denying that expansion and also hitting this one as well. But luckily, Bathcore has some detection to take care of those DTs. Now we see SAO just completely taking over the rest of the map right now.
And
with the
sneaky base. This is actually a really good, game in the war of attrition for SAO. Just keep killing bases, and eventually your opponent's just going to starve out, which I think actually we might be seeing the very beginnings of it now. If we look at the income tab, obviously the harvester count's a little bit different, but I mean, rebuilding the Nexus, everything like that, eventually here SAO is going to catch up, and in a big way. And as long as he continues to deny expansions, there's going to be not a whole lot Bathcore can do about it.
Definitely. We're not really going to see Bathcore come back from this unless he gets another base or two. And as we saw from SAO, SAO is definitely on top of that. He's looking for the base. He's trying to make sure that Bathcore is not able to grab any. But on the bottom right here, we see Bathcore. Ooh, and that mass recall to that base. Holy shit, that's going to be a massive engagement. Bathcore is going to get annihilated here. Excellent done by SAO, saving that base with the mass recall.
You know, that's one thing I really like about the Mothership core. I know everybody was skeptical about it to begin with, but that in fact is the ability that basically saved that unit from being eliminated.
That was insane. Bathcore thought he could sneak that expansion there.
Oh shit, mutas.
We do have a lot of mutas on the field right now. A total of 19. But we will see if that'll help out Bathcore at all. I honestly don't think it will, especially with these Storms and the Archons. Unless he can do a lot of good harassment, keep his opponent in the base. But in the main, look at all of these DTs in the main.
Yeah, you know, I don't think it matters at this point. He's just now warping an Overseer, but if that... Oh, is that going to fall? Is that Hive going to die? I think the Hive is
I think he has no detection.
Yeah, the detection is forming, but as we see it, the
there
Hive...
it is. Oh, unfortunate.
Quite in time. Now, we do still have a Baneling Nest. Is there a Spire still out somewhere on the map? Yes, there is.
The Spire is, yeah, at the third.
But that might be the moment where you just say fuck it and go all in.
Such
and
DT. We've got the Doge decal there.
Yeah, I saw that. Now, we do have 32 mutas. Now, 30 is the number where mutaflocks tend to be really, really scary, but with this amount of High Templar and things out on the board, the ground army is going to get cleaned up.
One storm, two storm. Great storms there. The mutas are just taking so much damage from the storms. The Colossus just shredding through those Hydralisks.
Carrier. We had a carrier.
We've got 3 more on the way. And there's GG. Wow, absolutely. I mean, that was so well done by SAO.
Yeah, that was actually really well played. And notice that he wasn't really that aggressive the entire time.
No.
I mean, he played a very, very defensive style of game and just... He rolled with it and rocked it.
Very, very well done by SAO. Now, our game 2 is going to be held on Habitation Station.
Awesome. Give me 1 second to grab some water.
No problem. So who have we got hanging out tonight? There's got to be some people out there. There's got to be some people. You know what, Frost? I'm going to get you in on this. Wow. That was an amazing first game to start off the night.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Alright, no problem. I'm actually going to plug President's Council. Why not?
Yeah. Walk. What's the matter, puppy?
Yeah. Oh, come here.
Oh, yes, I know. It's so hard being a dog. I know. I know it's so hard being a dog. No, just go back to sleep. You're okay. Okay. You're okay.
Dude, every time I link HiveMind TV, it comes up with Riot Games on it.
Damn it, Tyler.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Well, there's that. I'm going to take a piss real quick.
Okay. I suppose I could go give you one food. Are you hungry? Hungry? Are you hungry, puppy? Come on. Come on.
All right. Okay, dokie. Hello.
Yes.
All right, cool. Hey, say something real quick.
What would you like me to say?
Okay, just making sure everything is... The levels are okay over OBS. Sweet. Sweet. Alright, let's get into game 2 here. That Kate Lockwell.
That Kate Lockwell.
You haven't changed your portrait in ever, I don't think.
It's pretty true. Kate Lockwell is eternal, though.
For some reason, your mic's picking up a little bit louder, like more background noise. I'm not sure why, but it happens. Let's start up game 2 here on Habitation Station between SAOnline and Bathcore. Once again, Diamond versus Diamond, the first time we've run into a matchup like this on the DKTL.
And spawning up here on the top left-hand side of Habitation Station, taking that last game, we have SAOnline.
And over on the top right, his opponent losing that first game, but still fighting very hard. In the green trunks, Bathcore from Clan BBQ Man.
BBQ Man, so Doge.
So, how do you think Bathcore's going to change it up here? The Roach Hydra is definitely a standard composition, and Vipers were the right way to go. However, the High Templars just shut them down. You know, how do you get around that?
You know, I think it just becomes a matter of reading kind of where your opponent's going just a little bit earlier. I think he had a really good idea going, and then once he got to the point where he needed to begin to execute that, he actually just kind of dropped the ball in terms of execution. He ran into multiple situations where he kind of left himself hanging just a little bit. And I think, you know, if he's going to take this game and keep himself alive in this series, he definitely needs to clean that up just a little bit.
By the way, did you catch the 10 pool? Very early pool from Bathcore.
I did, actually.
So I'm thinking we might see some early aggression, which might not be a bad thing, you know, considering we saw SAOnline go for that quick expansion last time. We'll see what he decides to do this time. He's getting the gateway, so obviously not getting a Nexus so early. 6 Lings in production already for Bathcore.
I really actually like the 10 pull pressure that you can do. I feel like it gives you kind of an advantage in terms of throwing your opponent back onto their back foot. Even for just a few seconds of the game, it really doesn't even have to be successful.
Ooh. SAOnline does know that this is coming, though, as this probe gets picked off by the first 3 Zerglings. Chrono boosting out a Zealot. Good way to go. And there goes the Cyber Core. The pylon at the bottom of the ramp indicates that he was probably wanting to expand there, but at this point, may not be able to. So we'll see how he handles these initial few Lings here.
Yeah, and I think a pretty standard follow-up to this is really just to try and stabilize and then continue with your plan as normal. Because, it really doesn't make sense to go all out and go out of your way, especially if it's something that you can fix kind of easily.
2 Banelings already on the way. Wow. So, we already got that Baneling nest off of 1 base. Still sitting at 7 workers, so he just wants to go hardcore right now.
Yeah, he might just be throwing all the chips in and saying, YOLO.
The thing is, we have a Mothership Core on the way, and that's going to cause some problems for this early pressure here. Oh, great pylon placement there by SAOnline. A couple of those Lings get picked up, but let's see. The Banelings. Oh,
get a few connections.
Nice. Still in the lead on the probe count, though. But, yeah. The tanky Zealots and the Mothership Core are going to take care of those first few Banelings before they can do much damage. Despite that initial bust, go ahead.
I was going to say, one thing I think we can clearly say now is that Bathcore is not afraid to use Banelings.
Not at all. Seems to prefer them, actually.
Yeah.
But he's going to lose a lot of Zerglings here, just due to the Mothership Core here. Zerglings can't shoot up, and they don't have speed right now, so they can't get away quite as easily. Now, I'm going to be interested to see when Bathcore actually decides to expand, or if he's just going to keep up the 1 base pressure.
I almost feel like at this point, he's prepping to expand. He pulled workers off of gas. You can tell he just got enough just to get Ling speed, really. And then maybe a couple of defensive Banelings just in case. But otherwise, he's put all of his workers back on minerals, and he's popped out a Queen. So really, I think he's just getting ready to expand.
Definitely. Of course, I would like to see him expand. That's definitely, we see a drone here. It's going to drop a hatchery. So his 1 base play didn't really work out for him. He delayed the base from SAOnline a little bit, but even after the Baneling hits, SAO was still ahead on harvester count, and he also made a lot of Lings that didn't really do much for him. So SAOnline, as a result, is able to get his first expansion, his 2nd base, quite a bit quicker than Bathcore. Looks like perhaps not quite a bit quicker, but quicker overall. Also, the Stargate on the way for SAO. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and that's kind of like I said, if your plan gets messed up a little bit, you just kind of have to try and keep on track and hope that it works. Because, even, losing a couple of probes early on to the Banelings really didn't set him back that far. His probe production hasn't been an issue thus far, and I don't see it being an issue through the rest of this game.
That's SimCity.
You know what? Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Against Zerg, it's probably every time. Looks like he just knows where to place those buildings. SAO, very nice. We'll see what comes out of the Stargate here. It's selected, and there goes an Oracle. I think that's a good call. However, we do see the Spore Crawler here in Bathcore. He's probably expecting something like that. He doesn't want to fall to something like that. Just because, he realizes, hey, I'm behind, I've got to get a base. Now, what is something my opponent would do to me, to hurt me after pushing him like this? And I think the Spore Crawler is a good call by Bathcore. However, the Oracle from SAO, his intentions are in the right place. He wants to kind of knock his opponent back a little bit more and allow himself to keep expanding.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to note, just looking at that spore crawler, is I really don't like the positioning of that spore crawler. I don't know that he has the extreme angles covered, except for the queen down there.
Well, we'll see how it plays out here. This Oracle is going to come in. And Omega mentioned something to me yesterday. Even in professional play, you cannot mitigate the losses or deny complete losses here. I mean, you're always going to get a few workers with an Oracle. Now, whether it'll completely pay for itself, that's up for debate. But you can have the greatest micro and the greatest macro in the world, but that Oracle is always going to kill at least 1 or 2 drones.
Yeah, and in that case, I think he got 3. Yeah, he did end up actually getting 3. So, I mean, he's kind of recouping losses from the probes killed by the banelings, but at the same time, very good point with what you pointed out, that you're always going to get something.
I'd say the Oracle starts to pay for itself around 4 or 5 workers or so. I mean, in the long run, of course, even 1 worker kill is going to pay for it. But, that's not really relevant here. Third base going down for Bathcore, just about finished as well. So it looks like Bathcore, he just wants to try and get these bases and try to get ahead of SAO. He realizes, hey, exactly like I was saying earlier, hey, I made this push and it didn't work. So now I'm just going to try to take the map and see if I can't get ahead. Whether he feels threatened, I don't know about that. I mean, we do see a lot of gateways down for SAO right now. He's prepping for a big push.
And really what it kind of looks like is he's setting himself up the same way he did last time, and that's with getting, a bunch of gateways. He's got Blinken coming. He's got the Stargate out. Everything looks like it's very, very similar to the last game we saw. So my guess is that's the gameplay style that he's very comfortable with, and it's just matters of small variations on how you actually get to that point that mean the difference per the map.
You also see that observer for SAO that just popped out. It's going to head over here and try to check out what's going on. We'll see how much it actually figures out. We have a couple of evolution chambers at the ramp for Bathcore, so he's going to get up on his upgrades there and also block off that ramp quite a bit. So good against Zealot pressure, but we'll see.
Zerg has Zealots now?
What?
Zerg has Zealots now? Kappa.
Yes. From SAO, we are going to see a lot of stalkers, though. Just that's evident because we're seeing Blink just about finished up. Ground weapons level 2 just about finished as well. Lots of pylons going down there. He's just sim-sitting it up like a boss. So seeing some mutas in production now for Bathcore. But the Blink Stalkers, I think, are going to do very well against mutas. We have 14 mutas in production for Bathcore right now. Bathcore hasn't really scouted his opponent too much since that initial push. And
that's interesting.
I like the Warp Prism as well for the reinforcement. Why have a proxy pylon when you can just have a Warp Prism?
That's right. That is right.
And we also need that detection down here so we can start picking off these creep trimmers, or just completely bypass them. That's okay. There we go. So there's some detection there. You can see how Bathcore preps for this push here. He doesn't have a lot on the ground. He's a huge mutaflock, and the Blink is going to pick off a few of these mutas. Nicely done by SAO.
Yeah, and I mean, this just goes to show that you really don't need a whole lot of stalkers to do a whole lot of damage against mutas. Now, obviously, it helps, but you really don't need a whole lot.
Yeah. Also, this is all Bathcore has. He doesn't have anything on the ground. He has just a flock of mutas with 0/0 upgrades right now. He's working on flyer attack level 1, but it just started. Meanwhile, ground weapons level 3 on the way for SAO. Nice RD pylon there. Taking that out.
Yeah, and 2 gateways really not that crucial. He does have a bunch of stalkers here to deal with this, and they all have blink. So I mean, like he can micro around. He can do what he needs to do.
Nice blink right there. Popping that guardian shield.
Yeah, and actually he ends up splitting his forces a little bit and doing quite a bit of damage to these mutas.
Bathcore's trying to put on the pressure right now. He has 10 more Mutalists in production. We're also seeing Phoenix production out of SAO, so he is completely countering this. It's going to be interesting to see if Bathcore can actually do any damage at all.
Yeah, exactly. Now
He
we do
can't
see
engage
the
here.
Blink Stalkers. Oh my god, just completely obliterating. He's content to just attack into that.
Bathcore. Man.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how I feel about that because he's just attacking directly into Blink Stalkers time and time again. He's lost multiple Mutalisks at this point. Just now getting up to numbers he had beforehand.
I don't know why he's focusing on these gateways. He should go for some other high value targets. 7 Corruptors on the way as well. I wonder if he's going to try to tech into Broodlords or if those are just going to be there to perhaps protect against Phoenix, but you know, that usually doesn't work out too well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It seems like a very strange play at this point to try and go down that path, but I mean, he might have some sort of a plan.
More and more Mutas falling to this giant ball of Stalkers. Flyer attacks level 1 is finally done. Grabbing that 4th base as well. Really, I mean, he needs to add something into this mix on the ground, you know. Even Swarm Host or something, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, SAO isn't going down that big death ball path right now. He's getting the Fleet Beacon, which indicates he might be going for the Phoenix Speed to try and increase their effectiveness. I don't think he's going for carriers just right now. Around the bottom left, we do see a Zealot calling a line once again.
Well, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're trying to just distract your opponent.
You know, this is what we saw last game. You know, SAO focused on the fight here, the main fight with Bathcore, keeping him distracted. Meanwhile, a little small counterattack with either Zealots or DTs. And these Zealots are just going to deny this 4th base here, unless Mutas come and take care of this. But will the hatchery fall? I think it'll live. It's getting close.
I definitely think so.
Yeah. Looks like that hatchery is going to live to die
Just
another
barely.
day.
Just barely, but it does survive.
Lots and lots of Stalkers. Still only at 3-0. No armor on the way for these Stalkers, which it's not really necessary at this point. We don't have any armor up here for these Mutas. And another engagement here. He can't fight like this. These Corruptors are worthless against the Stalkers. But perhaps he's freeing up supply for something. You know, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, especially with 3 more Mutas on the way. It looks like he's finally going to start into a Zergling production with a melee attack level 1 being researched.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with where you were going before. I think he was going to try and go into some Broodlord production, maybe to begin with. But it's entirely possible, too, that the Corruptors were just a response to what he saw last game. He was trying to be prepared for literally anything that could come his way.
Lots and lots of Lings on the field right now. We have 22 out and more in production, as well as a few Mutalisks. So he's content to still go with the Mutalisks. You know, I really disagree with that play. We've seen time and time again in this game, each engagement where he's trying to go up front against these Stalkers, he hasn't been able to do it. And even if he tries to micro, you know, SAO is very proficient with his blink, and it almost seems like it's a lost cause to try to continue producing those Mutalisks. You know, also something I'm surprised by, neither of these players have gone for the gold.
You know what? On this map in particular, I don't know that you would really want to go for the gold until like really late in the game. I actually think expanding down and away kind of from your opponent is a safer bet all the way around, especially in a case like this where one player's playing uber defensively, the other one is actually content to just continue to attack. And as long as you're able to defend your straight line of buildings or your slight angle of buildings, you know, I don't see the need to put that risk out there.
I think Bathcore would be able to hold on to that third a little bit better. But yeah, definitely. SAO, with this flock of Mutas here, would probably feel pretty vulnerable grabbing that gold base.
Yeah, and we actually have, oh my god, we have a shit ton of Phoenixes out here on the board.
Yeah, that is a lot, and they have speed. Was that a speed upgrade on those guys?
No, that's a range upgrade.
Oh yeah, that's right, duh. Excuse me.
And actually, here we go. We see SAO going to go ahead and take that gold. Now, this is at one point where I think I would actually make an exception to my previous statement, and that's solely because of this flock of Phoenixes sitting here and the backup of Blink Stalkers that he has available.
Yeah, with this amount of Phoenix, there's no reason for him to feel threatened by the Mutalisks. He can engage these units anywhere. Really, we have how many mutas out right now? We have 32 mutas out, and that might seem like a lot, but with this amount of Stalkers and Phoenixes, that's it's really not even worth worrying about. We have a lot of Lings as well, but they're 0-1 Lings right now. Even the Phoenixes are at 1-1 right now. So also a Templar Archives going down. So if he throws in some Storms and Archons, Bathcore just doesn't have a chance in any engagement.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, at least at this point, I would say SAO is pretty well defended all the way around.
Both players are reaching the supply limit, so we are going to see something here soon. All of these Stalkers moving around the bottom left of the map. Bathcore moving out as well.
That is a lot of Lings, though.
That is 96 Lings.
Yeah, the only downfall is that they are not cracklings.
Yeah. Speedlings will have to do. Oh, we're going to see the Phoenixes fight these mutas here, and of course, just doing so much damage. We've already lost 5 mutas. We haven't even got any hits in. It's got to be very frustrating for Bathcore to have to deal with this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, this kiting, while it's a little bit tricky to pull off sometimes, can be super effective and very, very pesky, killing an entire air army. Now, we do see a bunch of Corruptors coming in yet again. Now, to my knowledge, we don't have a Greater Spire yet.
Almost over half of those mutas have been taken out by these Phoenixes here before the big engagement ever happened, and all of the Lings funneled into that ramp there, just being annihilated by these Stalkers here. That was absolutely horrible for Bathcore. Bathcore down to 103 supply. But we do see the Ultralisk Cavern going down. And we do have 4 bases here for Bathcore. 5th is on the way, but there is going to be a counterattack by SAO. These Stalkers are likely going to take out this 5th base, if not the 4th as well. But Ultras, man. Ultras and a Greater Spire. This is going to be interesting. I don't think he has the time to really pull this off, but if he can, he could bring it back.
Yeah, exactly. We do see this army going to go ahead and push out across the map. Now, this is a lot of Lings and a lot of Corruptors, but there's really not a whole lot he can do with these Corruptors outside of take back some air control and push forward. Now, we do see an Ultralisk Cavern just now finishing and a Greater Spire on the way, so he is actually making those Corruptors for a purpose. Now, this is something that I think we kind of lost sight of earlier on, and the focus of this is actually just to take control of the game until you can get Ultras out, and then they become your ultimate air superiority at that point.
Yeah, really, I mean, his 4th base has been destroyed. He's definitely running out of resources now. He has a good gas bank, but if he can't get another base, he's not going to be able to support production off of a Greater Spire and Ultralisk Cavern. But, I mean, this ball from SAO, not your standard death ball, but it is definitely deadly here. And there's not really a whole lot Bathcore can do against it. 3 Broodlords on the way, 1 Ultralisk. Not quite sure if that's going to cut it.
Yeah, I mean, like, while the Ultralisks will help push through a bunch of these Stalkers all at once, I'm not sure how I feel about the Broodlord transition, especially knowing your opponent is continuing to go Phoenix. That seems like a really, really bad idea.
SAO also, lots of idle workers. Everything mined out except this 3rd. He's going to try to take that gold again. I think he should also expand to the bottom left. He's definitely going to be running out of money here. I don't think he's really at a risk of losing his death ball right now, but to solidify the win here, he's going to have to expand. And a lot of Lings over here on the bottom left side of the map, trying to get into position. Corruptors, Broodlords following, and that single Ultralisk. all of these Phoenix here on the top side of the map. Fly around here and check things out. Or they're going to catch the Broodlords. That is not good. Bathcore losing all of these Broodlords now. Great pickup by SAO, and we're going to see an engagement here very shortly. We're trying to protect these Broodlords with the Corruptors.
And oh, look at that nice draw away.
Oh my god. A few storms destroy everything. That is so unfortunate for Bathcore. Lost everything to those few storms. Very well done.
There is one Ultralisk here, but it's not going to make that much of a difference. The Void Rays are going to help clean everything up. These Stalkers could just engage these two Broodlords, and there's the GG coming out of Bathcore.
SAO just proving again how good of a Protoss player he is. That was absolutely crazy. So 2 30-minute games so far. We're going to go on to game 3. Damn. SAO, good Protoss.
Yeah, I know, right?
Protoss OP. Protoss OP.
Nerf Protoss.
Exactly. Alright. Let's get game 3 kicked off here.
Yep.
Overgrowth. Another new map here in this new season of StarCraft. Have you experienced this map yet? Have I lost a Woodhouse?
No, I'm here. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to kind of troubleshoot my Yeti because for some reason I can't use the monitor at the moment.
Weird.
So
If you need to take a break after this game, we can do that. But anyway, spawning here on the top right of Overgrowth Ladder Edition, our Teal Protoss SAO, taking away those first two games, first two 30-minute games, in a very, very good fashion.
yeah, exactly. I'm really excited to see what he does to either put this series away or see exactly what happened with Bathcore.
Introduce our bottom left player.
Our bottom left player is the Zerg player, currently down 0-2. It is Bathcore.
Late introductions. That's
Yep.
okay. It happens. First gateway down for SAO. This is a very interesting map. Omega talked about it a little bit yesterday, and if you notice, it looks a lot like Cloud Kingdom.
It does.
We've got the big S path, but in the middle here there are no ramps as there are in Cloud Kingdom, and that makes her a very, very short rush distance. You can just head right out here across this big ramp, and there's absolutely nothing in your way to your opponent's ramp, which looks a lot like the ramp size that we see on Daedalus, but
You know, that is actually a very good point. This is a huge ramp. This is actually a pain in the ass to defend.
exactly. The choke here is not very big either, so really I think this map is quite conducive to rush. We'll see what actually happens from Bathcore. Not too early of a spawning pool, just your typical 14-14 we're seeing out of Bathcore. But also the first gateway is done, as well as the first gas, and a follow-up Nexus for SAO. So standard stuff, really nothing too incredibly out of the ordinary or cheesy from either of these players happening just yet. But we do have the scout probe from SAO sneaking around here to the third base. Just going to check that out. We'll see if it actually is up to anything or not. I think he might just be checking for the third. Make sure Bathcore's not being too greedy. And a Forge going down for SAO, of course, wants to play a little bit defensively. He's going to protect that expansion. And yeah, it looks like he's just over here trying to block this expansion.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't disagree with this point at all. Because, I mean, in this case, especially on this map, this is a really, really easy expansion for the Zerg player to take. So any chance you can get to slow that player down and, you know, make him either send something over to kill it or just even force them, if you're enough of a hassle, to take a different base. I mean, anything is a plus.
Warp Gate and weapons level 1 in production for SAO. Looks like he finally dodged out of that third base, realized his opponent was not going for it. So I wonder what's going through his head right now. You know, he saw his opponent didn't grab that third, sticking on 2 bases for a little while. Speed has just now been starting to research right now. About 20 seconds in. So, you know, Bathcore doesn't seem like he's going to be playing too aggressively. He's got an Evo Chamber going down, so he will eventually start his upgrades here. But, and now a Stargate for SAO. That's something he's used for the past 2 games, excuse me. So it looks like he definitely enjoys that Stargate, whether it's Oracle, Void Rays, or even Phoenixes, as we saw in that last game. Essentially, all of those units are going to be pretty useful against Zerg.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it seems like he has this build pretty well figured out. So, I mean, I think, you know, it's just going to come down to a matter of the when and where in this matchup.
Right.
He definitely has Bathcore's number at this point. At least it seems that way.
Bathcore going with the Spore Crawlers. Doesn't want to deal with any Oracle shenanigans, but we are going to see Phoenix out of SAO. Not unexpected. Phoenix is definitely a safer route to go than Oracle. If you go Oracle, you're pretty much banking on your opponent not being ready for it, and as we saw in that last game, SAO went for an Oracle, and Bathcore already had a Spore Crawler there, so perhaps just doesn't want to risk losing that again.
Yeah, and we do see these Lings sitting out in front. I like this Sim City, though, by SAO. Like,
yeah,
I do...
definitely. The past 2 games, he's been very, very efficient with his building placement. I don't really know where you can get in. I guess just where that sentry's standing, huh?
Where the Sentry and the Zealot are, yeah, there's a little path there that'll let you through.
I wonder if anything big can actually fit through that.
Yeah, good luck on that one. I don't know. That is definitely Ultralisk proof. Yeah. So Phoenix is continuing to be pumped out here by SAO. Ling's continuing to be pumped out by Bathcore. Now, to be completely honest, I'm not... Like, as Bathcore, what do you do in this game? You're down 0-2. I mean, we see a bunch of Hydras pop. But you have to figure there's something going through his mind right now of, oh shit, I have to win this game. Like, this could be it.
Yeah, you know, it seems like he's pretty comfortable with the Hydralisk. That Mutalisk play, you know, not too great for him. He hasn't seen the main base of SAO since the original push, or the original scout, excuse me. And really, he has no idea what's coming. So, my recommendation for Bathcore would be to actually, you know, keep up on the scouting and actually be prepared for what's happening, because it seems like he's just going with something that's comfortable and hoping it works.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are seeing Blink on the way, so it looks like it's going to be a pretty similar play to what we saw last time. The Blink Stalker heavy Phoenix play. Unfortunately for SAO, we are not going to see a Spire. So he's going to have to deal with the Hydralisks, which are going to be pretty damn effective against the Hydras here. And we're going to lose a Phoenix there. No. Photon overcharge.
You know, at least at this point, I like this push. However, I don't like him running through and losing a bunch of Hydralisks to the Nexus cannon. This Nexus has 3 kills. 4 kills.
Yeah, he really just wanted to get those pylons there, open up a few spots, perhaps flood some links in there. We'll see.
Oh, there we go.
Nice force field there.
Nice force field. That Zealot still holding strong on the other side. It does look like the Cyber Core is going to go down. That is kind of a pain. But nice trap on those Zerglings, and by the end of the Endeavor, we have 9 kills on the Nexus.
And that Zealot's still hanging out there like the bouncer he is.
He's like, yo, dog, you get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. And closes the door on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, there still is the opening around here on the left-hand side, but that's pretty easy to defend. Obviously, as we were saying before, this choke point as a whole is kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, definitely. Bathcore is reinforcing this ball here with more Lings and more Hydras, and he's just going to continue to push. He's confident that he can make something happen here, but SAO and his force fields are just so good right now, but he's going to lose a lot of buildings here. Essentially just handed them over to Bathcore.
Yeah, and I mean, now we get a continual flood of Zerg units, but I don't know that it's going to matter. This army from SAO is just continuing to grow slowly but surely. Now, granted, he is supply block now, but, you know, very, very soon there's going to be Colossi in this mix. And very, very soon this push is probably going to fail, especially considering, you know, we have 24 Lings coming across the map to reinforce, but what happens when you go Lings against Colossi?
Yeah, that's definitely not going to turn out too well for Bathcore. He needs to make something happen before the Colossus gets out. We have extended thermal lance being researched, and that Colossus is now finally in production, as he is no longer supply block. Pylon's going down to start powering these this warp gate here, also to patch up the hole in the wall there. More Stalkers joining the ball. Bathcore, you know, his Hydra count really isn't that high, and he has no upgrades. One unfortunate Hydra.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's going to be his downfall in general, is the fact that he's skimping on upgrades. At this point, we just have level 1 Carapace on the way. Extended Thermal Lance is almost done the first. First Colossus is out.
Great force fields there. Picking up a lot of the Hydralisks. This is just getting absolutely crushed. Bathcore's aggression, man, it has not worked out for him.
It has been completely dismantled, and the Colossi are out now, and if we go ahead and look at that Nexus again, 14 kills on the Nexus. But like I said, you know, despite losing all those pylons, despite losing buildings, despite everything else that's happened to SAO in this game, he's managed to keep a cool head and continue to push forward. As we see the army continuing to build, we have a lot of Stalkers, a Colossi now in that mix. He has stopped Stargate production completely and tack down 3 gateways.
This is definitely going in SAO's favor. I mean, we've seen time and time again, the first 2 games, Bathcore trying to be aggressive and just getting completely shut down by SAO. I mean, those force fields are definitely great. And as we can see, very, very confident and skillful with his Phoenix play, using that Graviton beam to pretty much destroy all of the Hydras in that initial engagement there. He's going to hop over to the third base here. Ducking out of there before the Hydras can get any shots off.
Yeah, but I do like this push. I mean, this is going to be a pain to deal with.
It definitely is right now. This hatchery is most likely going to fall. I don't see anything I can... yeah, there it goes.
And SAO just getting out of there. I like that. Just, again, denying the third, playing the game of attrition, seeing how things play out.
Yeah, that push covering for his own expansion. So SAO is going to take the economic lead here, leaving Bathcore to rebuild. You know, not very aggressive at all. He just sneaks in, takes a base, and You know, he has a pretty big force right now that if you're feeling pretty cocky, you could go in there and try to do some damage. But SAO is just confident that he can win the war of attrition, take that base out while he gets his own base and just continue to build and upgrade and eventually just do a Doom push. And definitely a good way for Protoss to be played.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we do see the transfer of probes coming up here to the third base of SAO. And again, just playing the defensive game. There's nothing wrong with that. He's basically telling his opponent, you can come and attack me as much as you want. You're not getting through here. You will not break me. And you know what? You can have fun trying.
Or Phoenix here on the left side of the map.
Gonna come over and pick away at these overlords, but oh, this could be devastating.
One overlord gonna get sniped.
Yep, there it is.
This is gonna supply block Bathcore. We have one spore crawler here. We're gonna get a few drone kills before that actually happens. Actually not losing a Phoenix yet. We have one there just about to die, but they're pretty fast and they get out of there just in time. Bathcore trying to compensate for the loss of that base and going for the fourth base. Supply blocked now. Really, it looks like he's going to try to push to cover for these bases, but I don't know how effective it's going to be. We have a pretty sizable death ball here for SAO. Lots of Phoenixes, lots of Stalkers. And quite a few Colossi too. 5 Colossi. That is going to make these Zlings and Hydras completely null and void. Especially if you get some good force fields. Trying to sneak around here. Pick out the Colossi with the Corruptor, but great blink there by SAO.
And are we going to see the engagement? It looks like we are. We do have Lings rushing in, trying to take out these Colossi. This is not that great of a position to be in. There's a lot of Hydras.
Yeah, all of those Lings are being taken out. Hydra's doing quite a bit of DPS, and the Stalkers are starting to fall, but there are still so many more of them being warped in as reinforcement. However, 1-2 Colossus fall to the Corruptors.
I don't know that. I honestly don't know that matters. We do have a couple of Void Rays sitting over here to the side. We have 2 Colossi left. Now, granted, that is a huge hit to lose those Colossi, but...
Well, SAO still wins the engagement, but he did lose a few Hydra units there. But at the same time, he pretty much destroyed everything on the ground. Bathcore are left with nothing.
Exactly.
Bathcore cannot afford to keep losing engagements like that. We can see the difference in supply right now. 151 to actually double digit, 82 for Bathcore. He's got a 4th base over here, which looks like he's transferring some drones over. And the income is definitely in SAO's favor right now. Minerals and gas, even though we have equal harvesters. The 4th base here on the left side. Lots of cannons going down to protect from Ling run-bys. So, really, Bathcore can't get a lead.
Yeah, at this point, Bathcore has been playing from behind the entire game, and it hasn't been necessarily from a unit standpoint, but just in general, he's been playing behind because he's just throwing units away. He's had opportunities to make plays, he's had opportunities to do everything that he needs to do, yet he just hasn't been taking full advantage.
Now Void Rays being added into the mix as well. Psionic Storm. Possibly some Archons as well. We'll see how Bathcore actually decides to transition out of this. I mean, continuing with the Corruptor production and going for Flyer Attack level 2. But he doesn't have any Hydras anymore. Just Lings and Corruptors at this point. Okay, there he goes. 12 Hydras on the way. I don't really know how good of a call that is. We have Psionic Storm and Colossi out right now, and that's just going to absolutely destroy any Hydra force that Bathcore can assemble. But really, I mean, where do you go from here as Bathcore? You have to pretty much completely go down a different tech path. I would say he should add some roaches into the mix here, and if anything, just to supplement the Hydralisks. He seems so bent on going with those.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where as Bathcore you go from here, because he, as you said, is pretty well set in his ways, I would think. And it's becoming, I don't know, it's becoming troublesome for him to continue to go down that path.
Yeah. Now 5th base at the gold here, going down for SAO. If SAO secures this base, it's game over. Bathcore is not going to be able to come back from this. He has a huge death ball that could just barrel down his front door at any moment. I mean, we see an Ultralisk Cavern going down right now, but okay, Zerg attack level 3 and Adrenal Glands for those Zerglings, but do we have any armor upgrades? Okay, we're at 2 armor, so perhaps throwing some Ultralisk into the mix here could help him out. I mean, we're at 165 out of 200, though I just don't feel like he has enough money to really produce enough Ultralisk to make a difference at this point. Especially if SAO pushes out anytime soon, and it looks like he might be getting ready to do that.
Yeah, I mean, SAO is as close to maxed as you can get, and he's just kind of waiting now. I almost feel like he's toying with his opponent, and we do have some Lings out here in the middle of the map, but he could push right now and probably just push through this army and kill it. But instead, we're waiting on level 3 air weapons to finish. We're waiting on a fleet beacon to finish.
Fleet bacon.
The fleet bacon.
5 Ultras on the way as well. Not yet seeing that extra Ultralisk armor from the Ultra Cavern. So that'll be a downfall, unfortunately. But also, we do see quite a few Void Rays here. With Prismatic Alignment, we'll be able to do a lot of damage to the Ultras. And you see that Dark Shrine being added in? Just the icing on the cake at this point. And now Bathcore actually approaching the supply of SAO.
And we do see the Hallucinated Phoenix coming out here to do a little bit of the scouting and going to get taken out right away. But that Phoenix actually did have a lot of valuable information.
Yeah, he saw the Ultralisk, he saw the entire unit composition of Bathcore. Still has a lot of Corruptors that are a threat to his Colossi, and perhaps the Void Rays as well, combined with those Hydralisks. But at the same time, you know, that's a lot of Stalkers here, and the Colossi are going to make a very quick work of the Hydras and Lings if we don't get a perfect surround here from Bathcore. We'll see here shortly if Bathcore can pull this off. Dropping down that 5th base there. Taking the Zelnaga for his own. Where is the engagement going to happen?
Right, my guess would be right in here, because that's a natural choke point with all of those pylons.
Wow. Great pylon placement. I really like that by SAO.
Yeah, I mean, like, that is actually fantastic placement, looking at all of those little choke points. This is all stuff that he has to attack through if...
Yeah, the Ultralisk can't fit.
Yeah, if Bathcore is going to do anything, he's got to go through one of those 2 holes.
This is a very excellent wall, but the army is out of place, but it's going to be there very quickly. Yeah, Bathcore just going to back out of there. Realizes he does not want to fight there. If he fights into those pylons, it's just not going to go into his favor at all. Like you were saying, he has to attack through the pylons. By the time they're done, his Ultralisks are already going to be dead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is one of those situations as Bathcore where you're like, really? This is what you're making me do?
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Flyer attack, Enduring Locust and Burrow. Interesting call by Bathcore, but you know, really, maybe that's his response to these pylons. He's like, well, shit, I can't engage into this. Maybe I should just go Swarm Host. You know?
Yeah, maybe. And we do see level 3 flyer attacks coming out as well, so maybe Broodlord Swarm Host. Just flood your opponent with free units.
Perhaps so. There's a Stalker counterattack here on the bottom left, and this is going to pull Bathcore's army out of position. Now, I wonder if SAO is going to try to attack somewhere else with his main force, but these Stalkers, man, fast on their own, but with Blink, they're even more wicked. Quite a bit faster than the Lings. They're able to escape and snipe the tech, snipes the Infestation Pit, and looks like he's going to get the Greater Spire too. Wow. Bathcore just chasing this force around all over the place, finally making work of that, cleaning it up, but I mean, that was a lot of tech he lost there. SAO is not going to be able to go down the Swarm Host route. Nor make any more Brood Lords either. SAO just playing this very, very well. He wants to get completely maxed, completely upgraded, and especially with a pylon placement, he's going to be able to do that. Sneaking back there with the Stalkers, and now with a Warp Prism. Perhaps some DTs are going to be spawned here. Warp Prism on the bottom left side of the map. Does have the Dark Shrine, so what's going to happen?
When behind, even though he's not behind. Anytime, Dark Shrine.
Exactly, as quoted by the famous Forever Bronze. Nothing being warped in here just yet. One DT actually denying this expansion. Cancelled by Bathcore. Good job. And I was going to say, you got to move your army there. The DT is going to slowly but surely take everything out. So are we going to see a backdoor DT warp? It doesn't look like it because SAO is supply blocked right now. Completely 200 out of 200. And Bathcore is also approaching that point as well. We have 4 armor and 3 attack on these Ultralisks. Now, finally going into Swarm Hosts, but he is also maxed, so something has to happen right now. Looks
yep,
like
and I like this spread actually by SAO. And the engagement picking all this apart, but that is a lot of Void Rays. I actually don't think he's scared at all of this army anymore.
Definitely. He's going to try to get out of there before Prismatic Alignment is done.
Yeah, so I didn't realize there were that many Void Rays out here, but they picked through that entire army. Very few units are left. The rest of the army from SAOnline going to back up. He's going to remax. The mothership is actually on the way, so we're going to see a mothership in this game as well.
That mothership. So many Archons here. The Archon Conga line. This is an insane death ball. All very high tier units. No gateway units here except for a few High Templar. And we have 10 Swarm Hosts out right now. Enduring Loki's just about finished, as well as Missile Attacks level 2. So he's going to try to make something happen here. But
actually, look at this. SAO going to sacrifice some probes for the greater good.
Definitely. He's got a lot of money right now. The animation on that mothership core is actually really cool.
Interesting to note here too, we have DTs up here in the main base that are going to get cleaned up by these Hydras. But they did quite a bit of damage to pick away at that hive.
And he's going to start transfusing it to keep it alive. And the Locusts are now in production by these Swarm Hosts. Kind of just sitting there. Not really sure where he's going to decide to send those. Oh wow, look at all of these photon cannons here. This base isn't going to die anytime soon.
No, not at all. And actually, I like that play a lot. That's something that really you don't see that often, and that's players build just a bunch of cannons because static defense in StarCraft 2 is so good. This base, as you said, not going to fall anytime soon.
Well, we see a lot of Swarm Hosts out right now. A lot of Ultralisks and a lot of Corruptors. Is Bathcore going to make something happen?
I think this is another one of those cases, though, where as SAO, you're just kind of like, okay, come at me. Like, let's dance.
And yeah, now that we have the mothership, I mean, we have detection here from Bathcore, but how is this going to work? Oh, his army is split. It's out of position. The storms.
Uh-oh.
The storms. All of his detection is gone.
Oh my god.
Wow. But that mothership core is out of position now. And
it's just getting obliterated.
Yeah, but Bathcore just annihilating everything.
I mean, granted, there's 39 Hydras in production, but you also have to assume your opponent is remaxing as well. The mothership core is slowly but surely coming along, going to go back away from all those locusts.
I really don't think that these Hydras are going to matter. I mean, we have now cloaked Colossi, so many Archons, and a lot of Void Rays out right now. The supply is definitely in SAO's favor, regardless of all of these Hydras, which are collecting in a ball right here outside of the second base. The third base is going to fall. Even if he wins this engagement, he cannot come back from this.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no detection here, so I mean, everything is
exactly. Everything just walks right to its death. And there's the GG.
There's the GG. So there we see it. SAO able to take that series 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, Bathcore definitely not a bad player, but SAO just proving that he is the master.
Definitely.
Protoss OP, definitely. SAO OP, I mean, they're Void Ray something.
I know, right?